Hey, how you doing out there? This is your Uncle Steve, and you're in Uncle Steve's Lounge on the Sunday chill as we go through a nice, warm, and it is warm out there, warm Sunday evening, talking all things Atlanta, talking all things Atlanta Falcons. You want to talk some Braves, even though I'm sure right now some Braves fans might not want to talk about them. You want to talk Hawks, you want to talk Dream, we could do that as well. But this is the platform for Sunday evening, relax, smooth tones. And then also we'll throw an extra question out there. What's your fantasy music beef? Been hearing all about Drake and Kendrick this week. Let's throw some fantasy stuff out there like, I don't know, High School Musical versus Hamilton, Taylor Swift versus Adele, something like that. Get what I'm saying? Come on back. Let's talk about it. What's going on, everyone? It is Sunday, and you're in the Sunday chill. I got to turn on my quiet storm voice. You're in the Sunday chill here in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Because I don't know. I don't want to yell too loud on Sunday. Not too much. But we appreciate y'all joining us in here. Thank you so much for joining us. We are going into pretty much, I think most people think it's the schedule release week. So we'll talk a little bit about that. I know the last stream we had on the Friday brunch, we talked about uh, who the season opening opponent would be. We can continue that conversation, as well as another one that everyone wants to talk about: primetime games. How many primetime games people think the Falcons will get? I think a lot of that stuff will take care of itself. If you win games, trust me, the NFL will notice. Or if you go get players like Kirk Cousins and possibly the future quarterback of this franchise, Michael Penix Jr., people want to pay attention to you. So those type of things get attention. And is the NFL watching? Do they think the Falcons are worthy of one, two, or more primetime games? As I've told everyone Friday when we were talking about the possibility of Atlanta's schedule, I think you mark it down. I think the Falcons are going to get that Germany game this year. Unless the tea leaves that I've been seeing are absolutely wrong, I think that's where we're going. I think we're going to Germany. And I think that's going to be one of our home games, the way I'm looking at it. Now, if it comes out tomorrow and it's not, because we have a really nice home schedule. And I would hate for them to waste it on one of the, better to look, I want nothing better than to see the Falcons branch out and be international. But man, don't mess with that Steelers game. Please don't mess with the Kansas City game. Please don't take the Giants game away from here. Get all those big time games here at the Benz. At least that's what I want. Hopefully the NFL will oblige. And then also this whole week has been, or a week and a half, we've been talking so much the pop culture about Drake and Kendrick Lamar and the musical beef they're having, which for hip hop, I guess is good. You need something because quite honestly, if you go look at the charts and go look at things, yeah, it's not hip hop that's on top now, courtesy of Taylor Swift. Has hip hop finally gone over that hill and started going down? Probably a little bit. So, in honor of the Drake Kendrick beef, just thought of some fantasy beefs that we like to see in music. Like if you saw them going back and forth, kind of similar to what they were doing during the verses during the pandemic, but you know, just like song for song, more of a fact of like a Taylor Swift against Adele, maybe. Would have loved to see Michael Jackson and Prince, of course. That would have always been great. Or even back in the day, Smokey Robinson against Marvin Gaye, label mates going at it. I would love to see those type of matchups. New Kids on the Block versus New Edition. Just any kind of matchup musically that you can see. And if you want to throw a hip hop one in there, that's fine. But that's right around the lines I was going. It would be nice just to see like a friendly beef. Like, you know, Luther versus Donnie Hathaway. Here, Danny. Here, Donnie. You take this on. No, Luther, you go first. Something like that. It would be lovely if we could get those things, especially today, because music today, it does probably need a little stirring up. So I would love to see that. So again, anything Falcons today, nothing's off limits. Matter of fact, if you want to talk Atlanta sports, that's fine with me. You're in Uncle Steve's lounge, so we have no boundaries. But we have boundaries, but we don't want you to go too crazy. But we could talk about a lot of that stuff. So if I'm gonna talk about some of that stuff, I gotta bring in somebody who is allegedly off dirt road. I think he told me dirt road or hot road. I don't think he was going off a cliff, but I know he's on the road. That's my buddy Big Low Country Sports is in the house. What's going on, brother?
Oh, what in the world, Bo? What's going on with you?
Man, I can't call it, my friend. Everything going well with you?
Man, we fared apart the cloudy, huh?
Uh,
Taking it
uh,
slow like a cat eating a grubber hole.
hey, yeah, well, okay. I hear you, brother. That's that. That sounds good to me. I know you're on the road, probably in the travels in the low mobile, as they call it, and doing your thing. What things this week from the world of the Atlanta Falcons kind of caught your attention? Anything within the last 7 days that you just said, I was worried about that, or I wonder if is there anything that kind of got in your radar this week?
Well, I think one thing, uh, I think it's crazy that after, we went through all of the craziness with Michael Penix, that we get a video of Kirk Cousins throwing one solitary pass, with the upbeat music and, you know,
Yeah, yeah. I I don't
uh,
know what message that was sending. I really don't. I mean, and as far as I look like the receiver had to kind of come back to the pass. I don't know, but it was in slow motion. So I don't know whether they were trying to prove Kirk can throw the ball on his damaged but healing Achilles, or was that to remind everyone in Atlanta Falcons world that Kirk Cousins is the QB1? Well, uh, what's your psychology if you're the Atlanta Falcons and you release something like that?
I mean, yeah, basically, like, I think it's the psychology would be, hey, like, don't get it twisted. Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. Like, I know, a lot of people are excited about Michael Penix, or some people feel like we shouldn't have got Michael Penix. Either way you feel, Kirk Cousins is still Kirk Cousins. So we're gonna play this slow mo clip of a zinger that he's throwing. We don't know whether I think it was a zinger, but we don't know for sure if it was a zinger. With this upbeat music to show y'all, hey,
Oh,
you better be ready. So I think the message that they're always trying to send is you better buy these tickets. Because that's
that's now. It would have worried me if they would have played that to Air Supply. Now, if they would have played that and the throw was, I kind of would have been a little concerned. So I do hear you on the upbeat because that would have killed the whole
that would have killed the whole move.
purpose. Oh man, brother, we're happy to have you on board, man. I'm gonna run through a couple of folks in the chat. Got a lot of folks checked in. Our brother Big John Higgins in the house. What's going on, man? Big John is here. He said, "What's happening? Happy Sunday to you. I'm ready for this thing to get started. Let's go, Falcons, rise up." Miss Barbara is here. Hello, everyone. Have we restructured anyone yet? Signed AJ. We still got holes in the roster. Wide receiver, edge, cornerback, safety, offensive line. Miss Barbara's like, I'm tired of this mess. I need all of y'all to get this rosters, to get all our rookies signed, get these contracts taken care of, get AJ re-up. I know they're gonna do this pretty soon. If I go by the last history low, we're pretty quick on trying to get the rookie classes signed so we can get everybody in there. What's your thought on a timeline? I say we'll probably get it done right before the June OTAs.
Yes, sir. That's what I was thinking. I saw that there was someone, one of the rookies, like they just signed like 3 days ago. I was like, dang, that was quick. I forgot what it was, but yeah, I'm thinking, before OTA, they want to kind of go ahead and get everybody in here. Another thing that it kind of goes with what Miss Barbara was saying, and along with that previous question that you had, Terry Fino said that he was talking to a player on the phone.
That's right.
He said, but he didn't want to say nothing because he didn't want everybody to get all up in arms. But
rumor has it that it was Felipe Franks, but go ahead.
Oh Lord, well.
Just say it. Just trying to tell you.
Ain't no need for me to talk about that, dude. Like we go to the next.
All right, we're gonna ask the chat. Chat, what y'all think about Felipe Franks? Yeah, they're excited, Lo. They're pretty excited. So I think we're going against the grain of what you're thinking, sir.
Oh, okay, all right.
let me catch up with some other folks on here, man. My brother Brian Davis, man, always a great supporter of the channel. Thank you so much. Good evening, Uncle C. Happy Sunday to you as well, sir. Jamal D, another brother that always keeps up with everybody. Jamal, what's going on, sir? Anthony is in the house. How you doing, sir? Good to see you, Anthony. Appreciate you. Barbara says last year's Braves, we had the same record this time last year. That's why I know I just actually answered someone on the Twitter machine was talking about, the Braves about to get swept by the Dodgers. I'm like, it's May 5th. It's May 5th, and even with a loss today, we have the second fewest losses in the major league. I think we're okay for the moment. I wouldn't start panicking about the Atlanta Braves until school starts, the way the Braves always do. So I wouldn't do that. Jamal said he would like to see prime Lil Wayne go at Kendrick. While I'm talking about this, that's actually a really good matchup. So what's your fantasy musical beef? I know we've talked about this about a year or so ago, but guess what? It's 2024, so times have changed. What would be in the world of Low? What would be a great matchup for you musically to see two people go back to back, a la versus style today?
Well,
past or present?
Oh, okay. Well, it's like one thing that a lot of people do this. like they kind of try to put people who are like in the same had the same style. They try to compare them against each other. You know,
Right.
i.e. Michael Jackson and Prince. Like, I mean, yes, one was more popish, but it's like, you know, they had glaring similarities, right?
Right.
So it's like, you know, I kind of think outside of the box a little bit.
Okay.
So I mean, you know, I would just think random things like somebody like Stevie Wonder and somebody like Donny Hathaway.
Yeah.
You
That's a
know,
good one.
you
That's a
you
good
know
one.
what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh,
I mean,
absolutely.
just I mean, of course, you know, everybody would want to see, you know, Boys to Men and New Edition. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Or
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you know, but I mean, there were some people who were like really, really great at what they did.
Hmm.
But and that's the beautiful thing about this Kendrick Lamar and Drake thing, because it's like, you know, Drake, you know, he's the pop guy, you
Hmm.
know, I mean, you know, don't get me wrong, like Drake can rap, but Drake ain't no Kendrick rapper,
No.
you
No.
know,
Of course not.
and you know, so it's like it's one of those things where it's like, okay, well, you know, you want to see like the different styles. I think that's, you know, what's the beauty of it. So I mean, yeah, you know, if you got, you know, Drew Hill and Boys to Men, like, man, that would be, whoo, dang,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah. I think Drew Hill would bow down, put in their white flag, and say, I think Drew Hill. I think Drew Hill would match up with somebody like One Direction. They would probably be more in that category.
wow.
All right. Look, I'm not even gonna go a big time like H Town. Somebody,
Wow.
nah,
Wow.
that would be a good one. I prescribe to the Stevie Donny Hathaway. I could see
Yeah.
how that would be a pretty good matchup as well. I was thinking about even the divas when you start talking about in time, like prime Diana Ross versus prime Barbara Streisand, something like that. I mean, that people, and I know I'm probably aging myself, but for those who don't know, back in the '70s and obviously late '60s, because Diana was with the Supremes. Barbara had started solo and was always considered arguably the best voice in music. But Diana could hold her own too,
Oh,
and
yes.
that would be pretty awesome. I'm gonna see what the chat has to say about this before we go into a couple other people. My brother D Sloan says, "Oh, what's up? Hope everything is going well. We got some good draft picks, and I see our team. I see playoffs. I like that. I like that." Matt Town Dirty in the house. What's up, Matt Town? Thanks for joining us here on Uncle Steve's Lounge with a special guest, Big Low Country Sports. Y'all make sure y'all subscribe, like to his channel on YouTube. Appreciate you. Uh GA boy, what's going on, man? Say what's good, Unc and Falcons family. What is going on, sir? Marina is here. Happy Sunday, Uncle Steve. I would have loved to see Mary J. Blige do a versus. Who do you think she could go up against? Now, Mary J. Blige to me has always been one of those and with much respect to her, but one of those sultry, sad singers. Like she
Yes.
always got some issues. I think that's probably why when she comes out with a happy song, people are kind of a little scared. But I'm trying to think from her standpoint, somebody who's always dealing with distress or something. I don't know, maybe Tina Turner or something like that. I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
know. That's
I mean, she does make like the same types of songs, like
exactly
to a certain extent.
like whenever dudes are in the doghouse, I can raise my hand
Yes.
to uh, things in the past, hopefully. And Mary J. Blige probably gets played by request again and again and again and again because that's her pocket right there. I think that's where she is, and maybe somebody like I said, Tina Turner. I'm trying to think who else falls into that category. It's got to be another one out there somewhere.
I mean, not somebody
Keisha
who like
Cole
is,
does that a lot.
and that's why I was getting ready to say, like, not somebody who could like we could put like on Mary J. Blige's level, but Keisha Cole, like, yeah, like
Yes,
whatever, the country
Yes.
boy gets in trouble is
Yes.
I,
Yes.
I know when I hear the Keisha Cole playing in the kitchen, like,
Oh, it's all
okay,
yeah.
yeah, let me
You
go
out there
get
with
some
the dog?
flowers. And hello.
Uh, that's what I'm talking about. So that's a good one, Marina. I appreciate that. That's a good matchup right there. ATL Skate Man's here. Hello, Uncle Steve. I do not have a musical beef matchup. So I will click on that like button and then let's thank you, brother. We appreciate that, man. Yeah, if you don't have one, brother, put up a sports question, put anything you want to talk about up here. We appreciate it. Matt Town Dirty says first generation hip hop versus now.
Ooh,
I don't. See. Here's the problem, though, Lo. I all respect to those who really think this Drake and Kendrick stuff is the best in the world. See, I was more of a Kumo D LL Cool J um, type of beef guy, because listen, not that they didn't get personal with things and they didn't go deep and stuff, but I just think the creativity lyrically was on a much higher level. It's easier to go low denominator uh as far as some of the stuff going on now. We're talking about pedophilia, we're talking about baby daddy stuff, we're talking about alleged
yeah,
things
that's
and stuff.
sad, man. That's
Yeah, when
sad.
they start going there, and I know, and again, much respect to the new generation because you didn't know about ours, so I feel you. But I don't know. I was just always I was always on that level of, man, I need to see how you flow with lyrics more than anything like that. Like KRS1 is probably sitting home laughing at all of this because
Oh my god. Oh
lyrically
my god.
that dude was on a level that none of these guys could even touch. Or Rakim, back in the day. Those these
KRS. The
yeah.
bridge. The
Oh
bridge.
man.
Damn,
But
but
see, they don't. Yeah. So I hear you. First, I'm a first generation hip hop guy now. A lot of the stuff I can't even, quite honest, literally can't listen to if, if I wanted to because it's just kind of a hard listen. But I respect the fact that at least they have those two um, going at it. What's your thoughts on that, real quick, before we go forward?
it's like I see what you're saying because like first generation. So it's that age old question, like the chicken or the egg kind of thing.
Mm,
Because it's like you wouldn't even have hip hop if it wasn't for the first generation.
true.
Now, I know that there's a whole lot more than two generations, and I don't know how to separate them.
Hmm.
But one thing that I can say is that like I know that it has evolved over the years.
Yes.
But um, I feel like 15 years ago, like lyrically, it was up there. But I still give a whole bunch of respect to the people who started doing it in the first place. You see what I'm saying? Because that's almost like somebody seen a chicken lay an egg one day and was like, hey, you know what? What would be pretty cool and pretty healthy and get you a good bit of protein. If we crack that thing that chicken just laid and ate it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I I know, and I don't even want to make it seem like I'm very prudish, folks. Don't get me wrong. I know sometimes in these beefs it gets a little heated. Listen, I'm somebody when I was in the army. Yeah, I wouldn't have gotten through the first part of the army without Ice Cube. So I can't um act like every swear word that comes on I'm like, oh my god, I'm terrified. But I am saying when that's your only bag and you don't have anything else lyrically,
Yeah, yeah.
then it kind of makes you a little weak on my part. Let me get back to this. Got a couple of people still here. Antonio James is in the house. What's up, Antonio? He said, please don't mess with the Vegas game. Nah, I don't think they're gonna send um I don't think they're gonna send that Vegas boy. Let me tell you something. If they sent the Raiders versus the Falcons to Germany, but you would have some real ticked off people here in the ATL. So I'm hoping that's not what they do. So let's keep our fingers crossed that doesn't happen in here. I see Lo might be having some difficulty here. We're gonna run through some more chat here. Say that one Falcon fan, what's happening, Unc? Is there one game that you're looking for? Mine is the Steelers because we get to see your favorite man, Arthur Smith, is not a genius. You know what? I got rid of that sounder. I can't wait to see fans boo him all day. That's gonna be fun. That's gonna be fun to see him come in the house. That'll be really good. T Walker, what's up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for joining us in Uncle Steve's Lounge. Angel Crosswalker says we need to see a Uncle Steve's top songs versus Big Low top songs. Ooh, now we might have something for you. Stay tuned, Angel, because trust me, we got something in the works as far as that's concerned. Ghost Peppers is here. What's going on, Ghost? How you feeling, brother? Jamal's musical beef would be NWA versus Outkast. Ooh, woo. That would be something else. Let me go to the next one here. D says, what in the world, Bo? He's talking to Big Low there. Everybody got a lot of what in the world Bo's in the chat. Our brother Demetrius Jeffrey is in here as well. What's going on, brother? Your boy, see, they messing with you. And Matt Town Dirty says, Kurt, look at what I could do. Look at what I can do. He's taking. See, Low.
I mean, you know,
see, Low.
So they can't see me. So I mean, look, I've never asked anyone else to do this and represent in this type of way. But if you feel comfortable, you think you can do that for me?
I'm gonna try my best. Look what I can do. Look what I can do. I'm trying. I don't know if that was successful, but I'm trying. I'm not good at that, but I am good at this one. I love that. That's about all I can do.
Everybody in chat, if y'all can give Uncle Steve a 1 through 10 on how he did look what I can do, I would appreciate that.
Yeah, I don't need to see anyone's over here. We do, since you're on here, we do have a super chat in the house. Let me break it down for y'all over here. Let's see. I can tell you how I feel about your super chat. How I feel about it. Hey. I can tell you how I feel about your super chat. Are you getting jealous? Are you getting jealous? Did you hear that end right there? Let me get to this. The coaches corner. We appreciate you, brother. Dre is in the house. Y'all make sure y'all hook Dre up at his channel, man. He says two guys born in 1560 talking about rap. Now,
wait, hold on.
That was some disrespect. That was some disrespect he was bringing.
I'm telling you.
And I was like, man, we gonna.
And the fact of the matter is, I'm the best rapping Atlanta Falcons content creator out there. Like, that's one thing a lot of people don't know. I can spit now. Like, don't get it twisted.
Now, say that one more time. You're the what?
I'm the best rapping Atlanta Falcons content creator out here.
I don't think people agree with you on that. I think that was not. I think the audience is spoken.
Don't get it twisted now. Look, like, what? Look, shoot. Don't let them say it fool you.
Dre, we appreciate you. Oh, man. I'll get back up here. Brian says, shout out to you and Coach Rody. Appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you coming through here and showing us some love. Let me get back to some folks that I had to see. What's up, Greg? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat. My brother Juan Solo is here. What's going on, brother? I appreciate you. joining us in here. Trying to get to some folks I hadn't seen. My brother Winston is in the house. What's going on, sir? Y'all make sure y'all check Winston Thornton out on the eye test. He and John Harris
Yes.
putting it down over there. He said, what's going on, panel and chat? Smash that like button. Appreciate you, my friend. Also, another content creator in his game right now is our brother Ryan, the historian, who's on the Birdcage LLC. He said, what's good, Uncle Steve? The nastiest undrafted free agent will be Isaiah Wooden, senior, wide receiver, kick returner. Screw did he say screw? Felipe Franks? Oh yeah, you know what? You're getting bad, bro. You're boy. I'm sorry, folks. We're gonna have to ban the Birdcage for I don't know. We'll give him 5 seconds. We'll ban him for about 5 seconds. Just for that, I'm gonna make a "I love Felipe" sounder and see how y'all see how y'all feel about it. Oh man, Birdcage. Ryan also says, "I'll take battle rap Nas, his Stillmatic version versus Kendrick. Nas was an animal in R&B. I'll take Curtis Mayfield versus Bobby Womack. That's actually a really good one as well. Bobby Womack was super underrated. He's one of them cats that, yeah, he could really throw it down to. Shout out to him. He also puts in there SOS Band versus Atlanta's own SOS Band versus Midnight Star. That would be interesting. Man, they got some good ones here. We'll get a couple more in here before
they do.
Jamal says Donny Hathaway, Someday We'll All Be Free is one of my all-time favorite songs. Yes, that's a really beautiful song. And that really showed the range of his voice. That was a really good one as well. Winston says Jagged Edge versus 112.
Oh, well, I mean, that was a real beef.
Man.
A lot of people don't realize that. That was a real beef.
Oh, was it really?
Yeah, that was a real beef.
What rumor had it that they were calling him 113? What was the beef? What was it about? Adele versus Mariah Carey, and somebody who I really think, with all of the dream beefing that's going on, is somebody that I think lyrically is probably one of the best wordsmiths in the game over the last 20 years, and that's Andre 3000 versus Nas. And I like Nas a lot, but oh boy, Andre is something scary to me.
Yeah. Drake ain't.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I would say Andre 3000 and Common.
Oh, Common is really good too.
The people speak on how Common is that dude lyrically.
Yeah,
I never forget. A lot of people don't realize that Common was beefing with Drake. Like this was like 15 years ago, and Common said something. He said the line. He said, Drake, you never wet anything. You're just Canada dry. And I was like, oh my goodness.
Wow.
I cannot.
See, that's what I'm talking about. That type of energy right there.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. Jamal D says Mariah Carey versus Whitney Houston. We mentioned that earlier, which I think a lot of people, I like Mariah Carey a lot. I respect her. She has, next to the Beatles, she has the most #1 songs ever in the history of the charts. But she can't hold a candle to Whitney to me. I think that's just, to me, if you really, really listen, this is not saying Mariah is not a great elite singer, but that just shows you, I think Whitney is a whole level above her as far as, I think you'll probably agree with that, right?
I mean, it's like, and this is another situation. It's like, so if we want to put extraordinary once in a lifetime or let's say once in a lifetime type of voices against each other. It's like, like Whitney and Mariah Carey, they're two ballatistas. But I mean, like, let's put it all out there. Whitney versus Luther.
Right. Because we tend to want to keep the gender the same in these situations, but yeah, Whitney and Luther. Oh my goodness. Because you would tend to have, um, Luther has such a that female fan base in there,
Yeah.
and dudes that not afraid of just saying, "Oh, that brother can sing." We know
Oh yeah.
against Whitney, that angelic pre-coke Whitney that was probably just y could sing anything. Had the
Anything.
Star Spangled put the
Oh
Star
my God.
Spangled Banner on the charts. That's how good she was.
That's
So
how good she.
that's oh man, that is crazy. Antonio said he would like to see Cameo versus Cool in the Gang. Woo! That's that's pretty good. That's pretty solid. Oh, this now hold on. I'm gonna have to stand. I'm getting ready to stand up. RJ Falcon, and appreciate you, RJ. He said, "Good evening, Unc. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday." On a side note, you and Big Low should have sing off. I know you would win.
Wait, what?
I mean,
Hold
who
on. I can't
that
read that, but
boy?
I know that's not
RJ,
what it said.
RJ, you are a man's man. I appreciate you. Thank you for putting that factual information out there. Low, you got nothing
Wait,
else to
what?
do but just
Wait,
agree.
wait, 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 wait. What? What
I think
world?
he,
Hold on.
I think that's the,
What?
that's what the world want to hear, man.
RJ, like, you,
He
you our
he just
cousin? You must be our cousin or something.
no man, no man.
Have you?
RJ just telling the truth.
You
He's just
must go.
telling
You
the
must
truth
go to
out
your.
there.
You must go to your church. You must go to your church.
RJ got good taste.
Man,
That's all.
I
That's
was
all
going
that is.
head up. I watched last time. You
See,
whistle.
see,
See you at
see.
the end, boy.
RJ's so correct. He got your stuff coming in all garbled. So that's he got your signal coming in garbled. So see, that's oh man. They Raven Collins is in the house. What's going on? He said, what y'all talking about today? We're talking about all things Falcons today. Again, it's been kind of a quiet week after the draft. Everybody's kind of easing into the point. I think what would you say, Loa? I definitely saw a lot of people kind of the shock and awe of April 25th. And about a week later, I've seen a lot of people kind of calm down and realize that, you know, this could work. What's your what's your vision of what you've seen so far from a lot of the fan base? Do you think a lot of people have kind of calmed down and say, okay, we'll roll with it and trust the process and trust what the organization is trying to say? Or do you think there are people that still um, just ticked off because we didn't get Dallas Turner or Latu with that number 8 pick?
Yeah, I mean, and I want very. Am I still gargled or?
No. You much better now,
Okay.
brother.
Okay.
I don't know what it was. I think sometimes when you go over the swamp, sometimes I think sometimes the, I don't know. That just could be me. But go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, I feel like everybody's kind of come to grips with it, and everybody's looking at the positive side of it. Well, I'm not going to say everybody. I feel like most people, are just looking at the positive side of it. You know, the the only challenge is that of course we're going to have outside sources who are going to be trying to put us down and saying things like why would y'all do that? But I mean, look, it's kind of like what I was saying on the NFC South Roundtable
Mhm.
earlier, last week.
Yeah, I saw
I
that.
was saying,
Mhm.
I was like, look, like Panthers fans, like y'all have no right to talk about us. I mean, y'all traded the farm for Bryce Young, who, I mean, if you could turn back the hands of time, you would say that he's not ready.
Right.
The
Right.
New Orleans Saints paid $150 million to Kirk Cousins, and he's not nowhere close to his Kelly
Derek
Blue
Carr.
Book value. I'm
Mhm.
sorry,
The
Derek
the
Carr,
mhm.
and he's not close to his Kelly Blue Book value. And I mean, they got a head case in Baker Mayfield in Tampa Bay. You never know he's gonna fall off the cliff. So it's like,
Right.
I mean, it got to the point where it was almost like, how dare you, So, I mean, is it unorthodox? Yes, but I think most Falcons fans are kind of coming to the realization, like, look, whether we like it or not, it's not happening
Right. Right.
now.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I'm going through a lot of the folks coming in here. Jermaine Jonathan is in the house. He says, "What in the world, Bo?" Giving a
What's
shout
the
out
world,
to Bo
man?
as out there as he's navigating the land out there trying to get home. Brian Dave, I think I put that Brian's on there. Um Getting my brother Larry from the Dixon Way is in the house. What's going on, Larry? I
What's
know
up,
he had to
Larry?
unfortunately I don't know if he did the Dodgers game or not. I know you were doing the Cavs game earlier. So but Larry does it all. On the
Yes,
Dixon Way, you get all live reaction. It could be Atlanta
yes.
sports, it could be national sports. He does it all. He also personally gave me his vote as the best singer. I remember him telling me that.
Wait,
So
what?
yeah, he said it. I don't even have to go back.
I
But
mean, well,
anyway,
He's in chat now. He can speak for himself, boy. Like
I
you
know
don't
he
gotta.
said it. Kenneth Kellett is in the house. What's going on, Kenneth? How you doing? That's somebody I gotta play my sounder because
I love Desmond.
I know he misses Desmond Ritter a whole lot. We're gonna get at him. He said, "Will the Falcons trade Penix to get an edge rusher we have to have?"
No.
I see. I wanted you to stay silent for about 5 more seconds
I'm sorry.
to
I'm
show
sorry.
how ludicrous that was.
I'm
Because
sorry.
I sometimes when you do that, well, we gonna say, push away from the table, leave the lines where they are, stop rolling up the weed, and just calm down. Calm down. We we Kenneth, we appreciate you. Always do. You're a Falcon fan. I get it. But no, we're not going to trade Penix to get an edge rusher. So I'll leave it right there.
so did you hear the story that the reporter told about when the Falcons went to Washington?
No, I didn't. Talk to me.
Okay, so I seen it on Twitter. The reporter was like, yeah, so the Falcons, they said they wanted to go see, Michael Penix throw live. So they said that, they took the whole staff over there, assistant GM, coaching staff, everybody. So they said, but the thing is that when they went, they wanted to take their own balls. They wanted him to throw NFL balls.
Mm,
So they said that it was 40 degrees there. The balls were stored in the cargo. They said by the time the balls got there, they were frozen. They were pretty much frozen. It was 40 degrees outside. They
oh
said
wow.
that, in that stadium in Washington, they said the wind swirls. They said it was terrible conditions. They said that the way that the ball was coming out of his hands, they said
Mm,
it was so impressive that Raheem Morris actually came down on the field and like lined up as a middle linebacker because he just wanted to see it up close and personal, to see what the defense would be seeing. And he
right.
said that he said that it was one of the best balls he's ever seen.
Oh wow.
And he
See,
said,
but those are the things that I kind of listen, folks. The scouting that goes on, it's not a matter of somebody probably back in the 70s and 80s that had one uh what they call the thing, the yellow pad. What do they call that? What they call the yellow pad that people
yeah,
write on? What's the name
yeah,
of
he
it?
was
But
called the Yellow Page.
yeah. So they don't just write down there and say great throw left, great throw left. They look into folks' whole history. They look into seeing what was that you told me the other day? But for somebody we were talking about scouting, that they looked all the way to their kindergarten teacher.
Yes.
'Cause that
Yes.
now I want y'all to hear this, and he doesn't have to say who it is, but Lowe told me that in recruiting or scouting for somebody, they literally looked up for somebody in his so a young man went all the way back to their kindergarten teacher to find out about a young man. Now, I don't know about y'all, but at first, I don't know if my kindergarten teacher's alive. I doubt it. But even if they were, what are you gonna ask my kindergarten teacher about my character at 5? Well, he
Oh.
plays well in finger painting. He's kind of a bully on the slide. And on the seesaw, he always used to get off and make people fly up and stuff like that. I mean, I don't know what information are you gonna get
I
from
mean,
oh,
and I don't mind everybody.
oh,
So
okay.
basically,
Okay.
everybody was my little cousin. He's being recruited by all of these different colleges, but um, yeah, like they contacted, they went to his school, and of course, it's a small school. It's a single A school, but they talked to every grade level, and they actually contacted his kindergarten teacher. But I asked the coach. I said, well, why would? Because I had the same question, though. And he was like, well, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is that during those years from toddler to kindergarten, he said that's some of the most developmental years that a person has, and a lot of the motivations and a lot of that frontal lobe activity that they
Mm,
have, it's exuded during that time period. That kind of shows what kind of person they are
mm,
to a certain extent in their purest form. So if he was a leader, like if it was one of those situations where they needed somebody to lead the class, and they picked him all the time because they know that that's just him. Because you think about it, he didn't have any other outside forces or outside experiences to affect him. Like that's just him. So if he was just a jerk in kindergarten,
yeah,
and he,
right, right.
like, well, I mean, little Billy, he was always kind of jerkish. It's one of those situations where they be like, okay, well, let's, let's dig into it a little bit more, because he legitimately could have grown from it, after having those outside experiences, and learn from the situation. So, I mean, man, that's a good point. But yeah, I mean, in that whole recruiting process and in that scouting process, they look at everything. Young players, if you're watching this, if you make a play and it's on your huddle, if your teammates don't come to celebrate with you, these coaches are looking at that.
Wow.
If one of your teammates makes a
Wow.
play and you just run to the sideline and you don't go celebrate with them, these
Right.
coaches are looking at that. So, I mean, look, they just don't want good players on the field, but they want good people off the field.
Mm, mm. That's that I mean, that's amazing, man. That's just amazing to me. I got a couple of new people coming in here as well. My brother Wallace Smith is in here. What's up, Wallace? We see you, brother. Thank you for joining us. I'm gonna get back to you in a second. My brother Derek Britt is in the house. What's up, Derek? Derek says the Falcons made the wrong draft choice. I'll get back to you in 1 second. Um, Barbara says they hope they didn't take a home game to Germany, but I'm sure they will. I think they are. We have 9 home games. If we get the
Yeah,
Germany game, I think that'll definitely be a home game. Birdcage, Ryan says his last versus is Charlie Wilson versus Jeffrey Osborne. That's a really good one too.
that's a good one.
Derek also comes back and says, I thought the Falcons wanted to win now, could have drafted Jared Verse. And we're coming back. I promise you. Wallace says, yeah, I think everyone just needs to calm down because what's done is done and trust their process. And let's get ready for the season and start winning games to cure all the noise about the Penix pick. Then we get down to our brother Kenneth with all kinds of optimisms. Says, then 7-10 it is. So remain calm, but if we enjoy. Derek is like Derek also says Michael Penix, he'll be on the practice squad in a year. So um let's go back to Derek's point. I look, I know a lot of us still I'll be honest with y'all. I'll say today, still didn't think Michael Penix was gonna be the pick. Doesn't mean I'm not excited about the potential of what he could be a couple of years from now. Did I think the Falcons needed to go in another direction as far as probably getting some need that you have now? Yeah, I probably think you should go defense. But I I have to try. I have to trust what Terry Fontenot and Raheem is doing. Listen, Terry Fontenot knows it's not going to be a second chance. Thomas Dimitroff got that second chance with Dan Quinn. He rolled the dice and went to one Super Bowl, and pretty much after that, went downhill from there. He's got to look out for the future, and
Yes.
I feel like that's the best explanation. Uh, if we had a true, no doubt defensive guy that was coming in the draft, I think we would have got him. But as everyone sees, Lo, and jump in here, if you saw that not only the Falcons, but the first 14 teams didn't think a defensive player in this draft was graded high enough to take higher than 15, uh, is that just the Falcons organization that's saying we could get some good defensive pieces later, or is that just stubbornness on our part and saying we'll just get who we want to get? What's your thought on that?
No, sir. No, sir. It's half the NFL. There's 32 teams in the NFL, and the first defensive player didn't get picked to the 32nd pick. I'm sorry, to the 15th pick. But I mean, the fact of the matter is that Terry Fontenot and Raheem Morris is like they said multiple times that defensively this is a very deep draft. So it's like, I mean, for everyone who says, hey, I thought we want to win now, not getting Jared Verse shows that we don't want to win now. We got 3 defensive linemen back to back to back.
Yeah.
I feel like it's just one of those cases. It's like the Falcons. Let me give y'all a quick history lesson. I apologize on.
No, you good, bro.
When Old Country Boy and Coach Ronnie first got married, it's like we get ready to have our 15th anniversary.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you so much. 1 year after we got married, it was in the middle of the recession. Had a great job. It was in the middle of the recession. Came to work one day. They said, hey, you don't got a job here no more. I don't know what you're going to do, but here's a severance package. So moving forward, it took a while to get back on our feet. So, we were, a young family. We just got married. We had a used car. Used car. We had 2 used cars. Cars kept tearing up. At one point in time, both cars tore up at the same time. Whenever we got back on our feet, you know what we did, huh?
Fix the old car?
We got 2 new cars. we got 2 new cars. Because we said, we're not going to be put in that situation again.
No, I'm just joking. I was throwing a wrench in your story. I'm sorry.
I know.
I'm sorry. Coach Ronnie never gonna speak to me again. Uncle Steve, we got good credit. What you talking about? Leave us alone. I'm sorry. No.
But nah, it's like we want to be put in that situation again.
Right.
Is your cousin's a certified pre-owned vehicle? Yes, he is.
Right,
you got your certified pre-owned vehicle.
That's good.
You went ahead.
That's good.
You got a new car with Michael Penix because you don't want Kirk Cousins to blow a tire rod, and you know what I'm saying. And then you're like, oh, okay, right. Because look, we had 2 Studebakers last year.
Hey,
We
hey,
had
so-
we had a
hey,
Chevy Cavalier in 2022,
hey, let me tell you something.
1986. So,
See, listen, and that's an attestament to that y'all learned a valuable lesson as far as wanting to have. And I'm hoping can you hear me, because you sound like you're cutting down a little bit. Can you hear me?
oh yeah,
Uh-oh.
yes, sir, I can hear you.
Okay, I got you. Okay, there you go. We went through. I thought you were back in the Studebaker, but we learned. You learned to that. Hey, you got to get upgrades. You got to get upgrades, man. You
Yeah,
you you really do.
yeah.
Um, I'll put it piggybacking on the story. A year ago,
Uh-huh.
we were coming into this season pumping up the roster of Desmond Ridder, Tyler Heineke, and Logan Woodside. I'm going to repeat those three names for those of you who did not hear me. Desmond Ridder, Taylor Heineke,
Uh-huh.
and Logan Woodside.
Uh-huh. Man,
We as
I was
fans
pushing
can
it. I was pushing.
look, man, look, Low, who has vast knowledge of football, who I go to get a lot of good information from, pretty much tried to put the Jedi mind trick on me to say Desmond Ridder was going to be a quality quarterback. And thank goodness my I did listen to him. But think about the quality of quarterbacks we had last year. Fast forward to May of 2024. While Kirk Cousins is not Tom Brady, and nobody's mistaken him for Patrick Mahomes, he is by far the most talented. Would we argue that he's the most talented quarterback we've had in Atlanta since Matt Matt, the best quarterback we've had here since 2007. Sans Matt.
Yes.
Yeah, for a reminder, 2007 was Joey Harrington and Byron Leftwich.
Yes.
Yes. And
Yes.
unlike the teams of the past with Matt, and matter of fact, you could almost argue who was the best backup for Matt. I mean, I guess I'd say, would you say old school Matt Schaub? Maybe, I don't know, but you have
Yeah,
a
Matt Schaub,
backup. That's
Renfro.
probably it. Who else was there? Who else was here for the backup?
Renfro, Dominic Davis.
Renfro. That's right. I forgot about Renfro. So I mean, we have the most talented quarterback room maybe since Chandler Vick. Is that?
Well, I mean, I agree with you. I agree with you. And I wanted to ask you, because I don't know if you had a chance to listen to the NFC South Roundtable. I said that we had the most talented quarterback room in the NFC South. Everybody looked at me like I had two heads. Was I wrong for saying that?
I don't think you're wrong at all. I'm like, what other listen, okay, first put that question out again. Most talented quarterback room in the NFC South. Okay, right now, what quarterback would you take over any quarterback right now in the NFC South? I say I think I'd still take Kirk Cousins. I take Kirk over
Yes.
Derek Carr.
Yes.
I'll definitely take Kirk over Baker Mayfield.
Yes.
So I mean, we don't even need to talk about Bryce Young. So on the backup scale, New Orleans, Taysom Hill, who beats the Falcons but can't beat anybody else. You got Tampa Bay that has the young kid from Florida. What's the is that Trask still there? Trask is still there in Florida. And then in Carolina, I don't even know who the backup is, but whoever he was, he couldn't upseat. Who was it last year for Carolina? Who's the backup?
Was it Andy Dalton?
Oh, Andy Dalton. Oh, duh. Okay. So, dude, I don't know what people where would be the misunderstanding about that. The Falcons are definitely.
I don't know.
head and shoulders above. I give you credit on that one, bro. That's pretty good. Let me shoot my brother in here, man. Got a comment from our brother Smitty Sports Machine. Y'all make sure y'all check out Big Time Smitty Sports Machine
Big
in the
time.
house.
Smooth
He said,
big.
Low, what's up? He said the Falcons got the best fit for their scheme, not names. So I agree with you on that particular one. Our brother Kenneth said, "Let me give you a wonderful football lesson. Let me give you a wonderful football lesson." Man, y'all don't use punctuation. That throws me off. Let me give you a wonderful football lesson. You lose Calais Campbell and Bud Dupree, replaced by prospects, you're going to fail. Well, first, we're not sure we lost Calais and Bud yet because neither one of them have signed anywhere. And then on top of that, prospects. No, I think we're gonna see. I think we're gonna
Second and third
see.
round picks.
I think we're gonna see just about everybody, Bertrand and up on the field. I don't think it's gonna be a defensive guy we're not gonna see. And I'm gonna tell y'all what. Don't sleep on Trice.
Bro,
Don't
that's
sleep.
I've been saying
Don't,
this for
don't
3 months.
I heard you say, and you know, I might have to give Butter Pecan, our brother Berto, a little love on that because I think I heard him mention Trice once or twice as well. Don't sleep on him. I see. You know what? East Coast people literally slept on him because he was on the West Coast, so we probably didn't get a chance to see him a lot. But
And Dorless too.
yeah, Dorlis. Listen, Dorlis is going to be a nice addition to what we have in here. So, folks, don't don't lose your
I mean,
mind.
it's like, so we're like, let's think about this. We're saying you lose Bud Dupree. Like,
Right,
mind you,
right.
Bud Dupree, he's better than so many different players that we had. He's so much better than Stephen Means, yes. But you talk about the same Bud Dupree who, like, he's close to the end of the road. Like, Wanye is warming up right now. That same Bud Dupree. We're saying losing him and
He,
replacing him with a second, third round pick is
so,
like, y'all, like this is this is the circle of life in the NFL.
so,
We're
so,
just not used to it.
so, in other words, you saying, yeah, Bud Dupree, yeah, he sacked people 6.5 times, but there was a reason Bud Dupree was a free agent last year. Is that what you're saying?
That's the reason Bud Dupree still ain't signed with nobody now.
And that's love to Bud Dupree.
And
Bud
that's love
Dupree
to
is
Bud.
Bud Dupree lucked up on a nice situation. He got to come home. The Falcons treated him right, gave him his little podcast on the Atlanta Falcons channel and stuff like that. So that was great. So it was good, folks. Bud ain't rushing to sign with nobody. Calais is
That's what I'm
not.
saying.
Neither one of them. And see, I have this theory about Calais in contrast to what Kenneth saying. And I know where you're going, Kenneth. I get the inside joke. But I think that Calais especially, I think Calais is waiting, whoever he plays for. Calais is not doing June OTAs. He's not going to
Yeah.
do any of that stuff. Calais is at an age where you know what Calais is going to do. You could put him out there on the field in July, late July, early August, and you're going to be good. And the Falcons basically kind of did that last year. And he led the team in sacks. So I don't think it's a rush to put him on there. Let me get a couple of things in here. Brother Greg is in here. Greg says, last time I checked, the most important position in football is the quarterback. Falcons did what they had to address the quarterback issues from the past. I'm going to amend Greg's statement. Last time I checked, the most important position in North American sports is the quarterback. The Falcons did what they had to do. If you get 2 edge rushers, that's beautiful. That's awesome. But if you don't have the guy at quarterback, you are probably less likely to win. Please don't bring up stories about Baltimore and Joe Flacco. Please don't bring up stories about Tampa
But I
Bay and
mean,
Brad Johnson. Please don't remind me about Trent Dilfer and the Ravens from a long time ago. Please don't do that. Please don't talk about the Bears and Jim McMahon, even though
well,
Jim McMahon was pretty good. Uh, that
man was that
bothers
dog.
me that folks don't get that. You don't win in the NFL without a quarterback. And I'll go
But
through.
I mean,
Go ahead. Go
like
ahead,
if
Lo.
we look at history. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
No, no, I'm
go.
sorry.
You
Go ahead.
good. You good.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was just gonna piggyback off what you were saying.
Mhm.
It's like if we go back and look at history, every time we draft a pass rusher in the top 10, it never works anyway.
This
Like,
is
when's the
true.
last time we drafted a pass rusher in the top 10 and it worked? Now, the last 2 times we drafted a quarterback in the top 10, it worked.
Yeah, absolutely it did. Absolutely it did. And remember, Lo, there are a lot of people that seem to forget. Folks, Chris Redman was slated to start the 2008 season.
Yes.
Contrary to belief, they were about to throw Chris Redman out there to start. And thank God Mike Smith had the sense enough to to not listen to conventional thinking and said, hold on, this cat right here is special. Let me throw him out there. I wanted to throw this out real quick, and I did this last week, but I want to get your thoughts on this real quick. I'm gonna pull this. Let me go through a couple of comments before I throw this up at you. Dixon Way says, I was mad when we drafted Penix, but after I slept on it and saw the rest of our draft, the Falcons had a good draft, in my opinion. They addressed pass rush with 2nd through 4th round picks. Henry's in the house. What's going on, Henry? Good to see you, brother. He said, have a blessed one. You too, my friend. And Mr. CD X for Life says, what's up, Uncle Steve and Coach Lowe checking in from somewhere in Pennsylvania. You up there in Ryan the Historian land. Antonio James, perfect example. Last year's New York Jets team was loaded, but the season was over in 4 plays when Aaron tore his Achilles. I was about to bring that up. As far as even folks, I'm telling you, and yeah, I hate looking behind, but I know we have to provide information. If you're not giddy like Bigelow was about Desmond Ridder and went out and got a legitimate quarterback on this team last year, the Falcons would have won the NFC South by 2 games. Tell me I'm lying.
Please say it one more time. Please say it one more time. Let's keep it back on.
If the Falcons would have gotten a legitimate quarterback instead of Desmond Ridder last year, the Falcons would have won the NFC South by 2 games. Easy. Last year.
Easy.
I want to run down this list in the NFC, folks. And I want you to tell me, Lo. Tell me what quarterback do you think we can't beat in the NFC? And I'm going by potential quarterbacks as well. Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott.
We can beat them.
Philadelphia Eagles, Jalen Hurts.
The way he ended last year, we could beat him.
New York Giants, Daniel Jones.
Next question.
Washington Commanders, Jalen Daniels, who I love, but Jaden Daniels.
I mean, I don't know what Jaden Daniels is yet.
Detroit Lions, Jared Goff.
Jared Goff's a dog. Great offense. It'll be tough, but we could beat him.
We almost beat them last year.
Almost beat them last year.
We almost beat them last year. And some will say we should have beat them last year if you didn't have Big Low's favorite quarterback back there at quarterback, Desmond Ridder.
Well, not only that, Mike Smith was having a few look what I could do moments now. I mean, Arthur Smith will have some look what I could do moments.
Green Bay Packers, Jordan Love, who I remind people we did beat last year.
Yes, and we can beat them next year.
Minnesota Vikings, who I have to be reminded who's their quarterback. Is that Sam Darnold? And now JJ McCarthy?
JJ, but yes, sir.
But
We can
okay,
beat them.
either quarterback.
We can beat them.
Chicago Bears, Caleb Williams.
We can beat them.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Baker Mayfield.
We can beat them.
And have New Orleans Saints, Derek Carr.
We can beat them.
We have Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young.
Boots see Bryce. We can beat them.
And we have San Francisco 49ers, Brock Purdy.
We can beat them.
Los Angeles Rams, Matthew Stafford.
We can beat them.
Seattle Seahawks, the great, immortal Geno Smith.
We can beat them.
And finally, Arizona, Kyler Murray.
Should have beat them.
Should have beat him. I was literally about to say the same thing. So my point is, folks, when you're in a razor-thin NFC, and I know I don't want to ignore the fact that San Francisco is the most talented team in the NFC, and obviously Brock Purdy doesn't exactly stir the whole pot for them. They just have a juggernaut of a team. I think you would agree, Low.
Yes.
They're just talented in just about every other position. Where they have about 6 All-Pros and 8 Pro Bowlers, and that's just a great team.
The best coach in the conference,
dude. As people say, if you want to say it, but he is. Yes, I know Kyle haters all day, but he's the best He's the best coach in the NFC by far. So I think my point for saying all those things with the quarterback is, folks, the NFC can be had. We can be the Detroit of 2024. We can be that next team with the slight movement of a more competent quarterback in Kirk Cousins, and then also having a young, if I may steal this, young Thundercat like Michael Penix Jr. learning under Kirk Cousins. So if Kirk Cousins happens to do the twist and the ankle stays in place, we can bring Michael in there to do his things. So, folks, it's not. I mean, I'm saying all that to go back to Kenneth's point when he was talking about, our season is full of doom and gloom just because we lost a couple of mid-tier at this point. 6.5 sacks is not a monster. It was solid, but it's not a monster.
That's what I'm saying.
That's where I'm going.
I mean, and like I said, look, I'm riding through Macon right now. If I stop at Arby's to get some curly fries, I probably see Bud Dupree sitting up in there. He ain't on no NFL roster.
Oh Lord, folks! If Bud Dupree was in demand, bruh, I'll take it one step. I'll take it a notch lower. He might not be at Arby's. He probably is Sonic, and he's probably at Sonic instead. And again, thank you, Bud, for the 6.5. But Bud ain't sitting. Dude, folks weren't rushing for Bud's services on March, whatever the day was they started free agency. Bud wasn't. He wasn't one of them folks that you ain't never gonna have to worry about Bud Dupree. Worry about tampering, because he ain't gonna get signed that quick. So you'll never have to worry about that. let me get up. We got a lot of comments came in after we were talking about that. Let's go to Mr. CDX. He said, was on a flight from California when the draft happened, was confused on why, but after I landed, was talked off the cliff. Well, I'm glad you were, especially when you were flying. Henry says Heineke and Woodside aren't going to cut it if Cousins is out.
If Cousins would have got hurt and we would have tried to Taylor Heineke out, we would have been looking crazy.
What's the odds? Right, quick before I go to the next question. Do you think Heineke makes the roster? I
I
know.
mean,
I know.
I feel like he is because I mean they lowered the salary, right?
They did. They did. They did.
I mean, my whole thing is if they lower that man's salary and then end up cutting him, that's some dirty stuff.
Well, I mean, it's funny to me that everybody's talking about Kirk Cousins' reaction. The reaction I wanted to see was Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke was like, "Well, wait a minute."
Exactly. Taylor probably like, wait, what?
Taylor,
We got who?
Taylor said, "What?"
We only got one headset. So who's gonna wear it?
Now, here's the problem. Here's the problem. If we were to cut Heineke, it would be a $3 million dead cap hit. So I'm not sure. We would still save this year, but it would be a hit of 3.3 million.
Yeah, I think we would keep him.
I think we're probably gonna hold on to him as well. Demetrius says, for the folks who are disappointed with the Michael Penix pick, when were we going to get our quarterback? That's a good point, because I don't think Shador or Carson Beck are going to be available next year in case we were looking for the contingency plan. And I think arguably those are probably the two top quarterbacks, in my opinion, probably coming out next year. I know me and Lo had a big conversation last year, and Lo will tell you, I told Lo was that Labor Day, Lo?
Yes.
And I told Lo, Deion had just won the game, I think the night before, and they beat TCU. And Prime was talking cash jump about Colorado. And I told Lo that day, and I told friends of mine, and I said, Colorado gonna win 4 games this year.
I mean,
remind me how many games Colorado won last year?
4 games.
And I'm here to tell you, while I'm on the side note on that, I'm gonna read, and I just want right now, if y'all listening to me right now, I want you to tell me, looking at this schedule, hold on. I want y'all to tell me, and you play along too, Lo. This is the Colorado Buffaloes, and we're going to, for those of you saying, why y'all talking about Colorado? Colorado is coached by Coach Prime, who a lot of people consider one of the top 5 or 6 Falcons of all time, and he is coaching that team. That's why I'm mentioning him. Colorado Buffaloes schedule next year, for those of you who watch college, and I want y'all to chime in with how many wins y'all think Colorado will have. This is their schedule. Colorado plays North Dakota State to start the year. Nebraska. At Nebraska. At Colorado State. Then they get into the beef of the Big Ten. They play Baylor, at Central Florida, Kansas State, at Arizona, the Fighting Desmond Ritters, Cincinnati, Texas Tech, Utah, Kansas, and they end the year against Oklahoma State. Now, I looked at that, and I hope you were listening, Lo. I counted 6.
Yeah.
I counted 6.
That's what I was thinking. I was like, they might get 6 out of that. They might get 6 out of that.
I'm trying to tell people that don't kill the messenger. I think Deion is a great individual, Hall of Fame player and everything, but I'm trying to tell folks all the time, sometimes what you say doesn't necessarily manifest to off the field. And all of the, as a coach, and tell me this, as a coach, Lo, would you be going back and forth with a player on Twitter about
Um,
how your son's gonna be a
um,
how I mean,
top
what are
five pick.
you
Yeah.
yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. Like he better. It's a good thing that the Suns are leaving because it's like it's really creating a conflict of interest for him and the program because I mean, just from what I know that they got eaten alive by the transfer portal.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
like, I mean, Dion, he said stuff. He said things like, "Yeah, players they don't need to be worried about money and NIL." Meanwhile, like him and his kids, like they're on TV every chance they get, and they coming up in Maybachs and stuff like that. Like the season, like you getting ready, like you just got finished with spring football and everything. It's like the only thing that we've heard Dion talk about is his kids getting drafted. Like he's really setting a bad standard for himself in that program. It's a good thing that his kids are getting ready to leave because it's not a good look. It's not a good look. Like as somebody who you know in the recruiting circles and everything, like man, people feed on Colorado with a long handle spoon right now.
Right. 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 I listen. I this is the same Dion who was going to bat for the guys who got their $100,000 jewelry stolen last year. But it's I just don't. I'm just not feeling it, folks. I don't know. Like I said, I respect the career of prime. Hey, I like must be the money like everybody else did. That horrible video Dion
It's
made,
time,
but
yeah.
but must be the money. It's turning me on, must be money. I'm
But
jealous
I
because
tell you what, I got a question for you.
talk to me.
I got a question for you. So
Talk.
if it was a situation where you had an opportunity to choose between Michael Penix, Shador, and Carson Beck, who would you choose?
Woo! I'm gonna tell you what, man. Boy, man, you might be surprised, man. I really like Carson Beck's game. And he
Really?
showed me I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if you watched a lot of Georgia last year.
Oh yeah.
He had some toughness in him that I wasn't quite sure. And I'm not trying to mistake him for Shador Sanders in athleticism or whatever, but he could put him up and down when he had to. Um,
Yeah, he could. He could.
I that's a tougher. I'll go here. I'm gonna go here. I say Carson Beck, Carson Beck and Michael Penix extremely close together. I guess for the sake of now, I think I'll take Penix. I saw Penix do a lot of winning with a team that did not have the supporting staff that Georgia did too. So maybe I'll take Penix by a razor thin hair over Carson Beck, and then Shador last. Shador hangs on to the ball way too much for me. I think
Yeah,
some of
yeah,
that
he
hero
does.
ball, some of that hero ball that everybody
Mm.
listen. We loved him running around. We loved him escaping. But as his ribs, if you had an interview with Shador Sanders ribs, and you say, "Hey, Shador Sanders ribs, how you? Tell me about the game today, man. Somebody tell this brother to let the ball go." his his ribs would tell Shador's
Oh
ribs. Are you
man,
still there? Yeah,
man, can
I,
somebody go
I,
down the hallway and talk to his brain and tell him that
exactly.
tell his brain to tell his arm that he needs to throw that thing away.
Man, I'm sitting there trying to tell you, boy, that was and again, I'm not ignoring the athleticism. I'm not ignoring stuff, but I also I I know this is just sounding like I'm just hating on the whole Sanders family, which I'm not. Um, I think Shador is still not ready once he gets to the league. I think Penix is more ready, and I think Beck will be more ready. Shador played a lot of hero ball last year. Everybody looks at the 6 touchdowns, 6 things. Yeah, let's see who he got those aside of the USC game, which he balled out in the USC game. I'll admit. But when he got near the end of the season and they were playing the Utahs of the world and the Arizonas of the world and a couple of those defenses, I'm trying to tell you, it is not as easy. You can do that against AA teams. When you play the 7A teams,
Exactly.
I'm looking at people here in the chat. Hold on. I see Matt Town says Big Low don't people know you're in my home? They may start changing us. They might charging us a luxury tax or something. Hey, bro. Man, that is true. But he didn't charge me, Matt Town, so I gotta agree. So the people Atari says 6-6. Greg says 6 wins. Antonio says I could see 7 and a possible. Antara says they made a bowl game. They make a bowl game at 6-6. And here's the only issue with that. Is Deion Sanders, will he be validated with a 6-6 record this year?
What you mean?
In other words, okay, he talked the talk last year. I think a lot of people. Okay, let's put it back. This year, over the last 2 months, everybody's been fascinated in the sports world about the Caitlin Clark story, and bear with me, I'm gonna go there. Caitlin Clark got a lot of press, balled out, got her team to the final, lost. Obviously, a lot of people like, oh, she didn't win the championship, but she brought eyes to the sport. She brought excitement to Iowa. She brought a whole different level of attention. Some of the highest rated basketball games, not women's basketball games, basketball games on cable TV ever. Would you not agree?
Wow.
Let's go.
I completely agree.
Absolutely. Let's go to Deion last September. Deion Sanders won the first 3 games last year. Folks, there were people thinking Colorado was in the playoff. There were folks that thought Deion Sanders was going to magically take all of his charisma and all his style and all of his pizzazz and all of that stuff and transfer it through all those kids. And stark reality hit him by game 4 or 5. Because then he realized,
exactly.
Oh, dang, we got to actually go out here and play and do this.
Exactly.
So attention and height is great. It's good for the game. It gets eyes on. I'm sure Colorado, as a university, they benefited big time. Colorado was on national TV. They had high ratings late at night. I mean, folks were tuning in, and I'm pretty sure there'll be a Colorado Prime game or here too, probably early in the year because when they know they can win.
Multiple ones.
Oh, absolutely. But when the dust is settled and everything is kind of laid out, is Deion really that guy? And I'm bringing it all the way back to Mr. Moody when he says they make a bowl game at 6-6. So I ask you, is 6-6 enough to legitimize a Deion Sanders? Let me change that. A Coach Prime coach team. Is that enough to pacify the folks who love Deion?
No, sir.
Exactly.
No, sir. I mean, at the end of the day, it's about winning.
Right.
It's about winning. I mean, 6-6. I mean, look, who was more polarizing than the great Arthur Smith? Who was more beloved by the fans and the media than the great Arthur Smith? Everybody didn't want Arthur Smith to leave, but he couldn't legitimize himself because the continuous 7-10 seasons.
Hold on a second. There is a liar in the house. There is a liar on the house. No. I do not. I don't think that's. I don't think that's true. but, but no, but I hear you. Listen, I love Prime the player. I especially loved Prime the player when he was here at Atlanta. I think sometimes a lot of people we had to question last week. Well, no, it was 2 weeks ago when Tidy from Atlanta Bird Gang. Y'all make sure y'all check our brother out, Tidy, on Atlanta Bird Gang on YouTube, please, and on Facebook. Tidy put out the question about Deion Sanders being a top 10 defensive player of all time. And I know a lot of people want to rush out and say, oh, absolutely. But then when I take a step back and I just think about some of the monsters prior to Deion, the Dick Buck, I mean, and I'm talking about people that I saw at the end, not people back in the Red Grange days and all of that. I'm talking about people that I just saw. Mean Joe Green, Dick Butkus. Saw him even at the end, he was still pretty good in the mid 70s and late 70s. Still pretty good. Ronnie Lott, LT. I just had him on my mind. My buddy from Dallas, Too Tall Jones, the Raiders, Lester Hayes, Big Bad Jack Tatum. Shoot, go back to Pittsburgh, Jack Lambert. I think about my big boy from Minnesota, defensive player. I'm missing. Played for Atlanta. No, not played for Atlanta. Not Doman. John Randall. Like I'm just thinking about a lot of players, and I'm missing a whole bunch. Go ahead. You got some.
Oh yeah. I mean, the Minister of Defense.
Yes.
Reggie White.
Yes.
Reggie
White.
I mean, there's so many of them, but I don't know. I feel like you kind of have to put Deion in there because, like, the thing about Deion literally had the Michael Jordan effect.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I know that me and you would never had a chance to play basketball yet, but of course I'm older now. But back whenever I was playing consistently, I used to do the back pedal. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it wasn't intentional. I used to do the back pedal. Used to do the fade away. Just random.
Well, listen. Low.
I say it's the same thing with Deion.
Low, I don't ever want you to get it twisted.
Want a high step to the end zone. What the world? What the world?
I even on my messed up knee, I think I might end up. I don't know. I might beat you by 3, but going back to
okay, all right. Okay,
hold on. Let me stop because that challenge might happen. Okay, now I hear what you're saying about Prime and everything. Here's my only thing that while Prime was no doubt a great defensive cornerback. When you say top 10 defense all time, I think recency bias probably goes into it. I think we have a lot of folks who clearly just don't remember that nobody threw the ball in Darryl Green's direction either when he was here.
I just seen a clip of Darryl Green the other day.
Let me tell
64.
let me explain something to you. Darryl Green also tackled people. Folks try to act like Deion was this tackling. Look, Deion had to be the best. Because Deion wasn't tackling nobody. I done seen Deion olay many of wide receivers.
Oh yeah.
So and I'm not taking away from Deion's grade. Y'all, I couldn't do it anyway. But I just want to say I could definitely name 10 people that I would take over him. Not because I hated Deion, which I don't have. It's because I think there are some players out there.
I'll be right
Say what now? Uh-oh.
I said, hold on 1 second. I'll be right back.
Okay, no. Go do your thing. Do your thing. We gonna while Loa's doing his thing, I'm gonna catch up with the rest of the comments, and I apologize. This is one of the good things when you get a chance to catch up with your buddy, man. You catch up on a lot of stuff here. Let me get Demetrius says arm talent, Penix Jr., mobility, Shadur, toughness, Beck. And that's how I was talking about, Demetrius. A lot of people, man, Carson Beck is a tough kid, and he's still growing. So I like his game. Winston says Prime's comment on his son going top 5 was towards a football dad. I can hear that. Yeah, I can agree with that. That a lot of people will probably, that's your son. Obviously, you think your son, and I think he will probably still go top 5, quite honestly. So that's not that's an honest statement. Henry says, I'm hoping Clark Phillips will up his game and do some serious damage with Jesse Bates. AJ Terrell is going to be playing for his life this season. Terrell, Phillips, and Bates, 3-headed monster. And Henry, let me tell you something. What else would be greater if we could mess around and get someone like, I don't know, Justin Simmons, who's still out there on the free agency list. I'm going to pull up that list in a couple of seconds to see who else is available out here and see what y'all think about that. Demetrius says, in the words of Tiny Toxic Author. Yeah, that's my bud. That's my buddy. Mr. Booty says, in a business, a 300% increase is awesome. From 1 win to 4 wins. To go from 4 wins to 6 wins is 50% increase. In business, you will keep that, coach, if you are Colorado. Now, I'll say this. Now, you have a very good point. For Colorado, that's gold. And think about it. They went from the depths of, what did they win? 1 game before he came? You're absolutely correct. So, loud and clear. You're absolutely right. For Colorado, they struck it rich. Not only struck it rich in literal wins from 1 to 4, and hopefully more, but in the terms of he made our program relevant, which these days, financially, is probably better than winning 8 or 9 games. If you can get that team to grab I'll go like Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin, who had a pretty good year a couple of years ago. But folks go now to Ole Miss games because Lane Kiffin is a star. He attracts folks. He brings folks there.
That's true.
So
That's true.
For what Prime does for Colorado, you're absolutely right. Prime is bringing eyes to the game. He's bringing folks there. If you didn't know any better, you would have thought Colorado won 9 games last year. They talk about Travis Hunter, Travis Hunter, to me, Travis Hunter, in my opinion, is the best player on the team. Travis, best athlete and player on the team, to me. If you talk about that, I just say just that alone for the Colorado uh, organization, for the university, for the money to fill out those stadiums, stars on the sidelines, a party all the time. Shh, man, that's way more than anybody could ask for. I'm just thinking about like middling teams, like a team that wins 7 or 8 games. I'm thinking about like an Arkansas, and I really can't say that because a lot of the SEC teams already have built-in fan bases, so it's kind of hard. Arkansas is going
Exactly.
to have 80,000 even in a bad year because it's Arkansas. And anybody in the
It's
South,
Arkansas.
that's just an unfair. What I name a team that wins 6 to 8 games low, but you just don't hear the euphoria about them. You know what I mean? You don't hear that.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, Vanderbilt. Okay, Vanderbilt is perfect. Vanderbilt every blue moon will win 7 games or so and
Yep.
go to a bowl game, but you don't see that energy.
There ain't no excitement. Exactly.
It's
Exactly.
nothing. And where Colorado last year, Colorado on the heels of Prime's confidence / arrogance and the the bravado of Shadur and Travis have built something there that's gonna keep eyes on the product.
Exactly.
So that's where and I'm gonna translate this to the Falcons. Getting Kirk Cousins here for Atlanta, if you're Raheem Morris and you're Terry Fontenot and you're sitting there before the draft, or better yet, if you're sitting there before free agency, and while Raheem's charge is to make this team better, Terry Fontenot would be naive not to say, you know what else we need to do? We need to get some excitement in this fan base. Even if it's controversial, you need to get something in this fan base. Me and Lowe will sit here and tell you we are sick and tired of looking around in the bins and seeing a half-hearted Falcons. And look, much love to the people that go to the game. I'm not talking about you.
Yes.
But when I look around and see, and folks, those seats are paid for. Contrary to belief, those seats are already paid for. That's why the Falcons aren't tripping. Because one way or the other, somebody paid for those tickets. But the interest in the Atlanta Falcons team right now is fair to mid-level. And folks aren't rushing to see our games. And so when we make a move like bringing in a Michael Penix Jr., while of course on the surface it looks like what a dumb pick. Why would you do that knowing your need was defense? But Lowe, we haven't had anything. We opened that stadium in 2017, and granted, we were coming off a Super Bowl, and that was a team that we didn't even get a home playoff game that year. So if you think about it, what's the most excitement we've had since 2017 in that Benz? The game that I didn't get a chance to go to, that New Orleans Falcons game in 17, I always point to that, and I didn't even go to that game because I had to work. My son and wife went. Shout out to Aunt Kira. But what is the most excitement that you've seen in that Benz, Low, since 17?
I mean, I guess
you gotta pause.
Years with, I guess I would say the year, was it 1 or 2 years we had with Julio and Calvin Ridley?
Yeah.
What was it, 3
18,
years?
maybe 18, that year we put up all the numbers with Sarkisian.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I would
defense
say,
couldn't stop anybody.
Most exciting time.
But we went 7-9.
Oh, we went 7-9. It gave everybody something to kind of look forward to next year. Like, hey, if we can get defense, then we can do something. But I mean, as far as like actual game, I mean, there really hasn't been too many games. Like, but everybody's like, man, I can't wait for this game because I know we're going to be ready and we're going to bring the best that we got to this team. They're going to bring the best that they got to us. It's like whenever we play at home, like it's not even. It don't feel the same. It don't feel like it used to.
It's not.
Like
it's not.
It's not. It's not the same energy. It's basically like, yeah, we don't like y'all, but it ain't like, man, look, you live and die on every play. Like it don't feel like
that. The true, and I'm speaking only. My perception has been for the last 6 years in the dome is we just don't have that. We don't have that, and whatever that is, that energy, you can argue. We caught when the bins open. Julio was. I mean, 2018 was a great year, but we are catching Julio on the down.
Yeah.
We're catching Matt going down. We're catching a lot of folks going down. And
yeah,
I'm not saying you make a pick just for that. But I will admit, people are buzzing. Do you think this preseason you will have a hat? Do you? Michael Penix will probably be starting 1 or 2 games in preseason this year. Folks,
preseason.
If you think
for the Falcons this year,
the preseason games, at least for however much time Michael plays, is going to be more electric than we've seen in a long time with Michael Penix in there. Because I'm putting a bet probably 2-1 that we may not see Kirk Cousins in the preseason. We may not. If you see him, you might see him in a Desmond Ritter 8. Yeah. That's you're gonna. I think we might do it. We did it with Matt Ryan a few years ago, though. Lo, remember the first year we went to 17 games? We did that with Matt. Matt only played.
Who's the coach though?
Your buddy, Arthur Smith.
Exactly.
Your buddy.
So yeah, I would let's alleviate that from the whole conversation. Like, yeah, I wouldn't even. I really wish those were 3 years we could just erase from Atlanta Falcons history.
Can't do it
because
can't do it.
I know you can't, but I just really wish that. I mean, it was a complete waste of time. I'm not going to go on this tantrum right now, but if they mess around and sit Kirk Cousins, I mean, there's 2 different things that can happen. Michael Penix could play bad, and the fan base would lose it, or Michael Penix could play great, and the fan base would lose it. That's why I'm saying it. Like, Kirk Cousins has to play. He has to show out when he does play.
And Lo, to me, that's awesome energy that you need sometimes. Remember how uncomfortable Matt Ryan was with Kyle Shanahan that first year? Remember that? We parlayed that uncomfortableness in 15 to a Super Bowl run in 16. I'm not here to tell you we're going to make a Super Bowl run, but I am saying maybe it is healthy that Kirk is looking behind his shoulder. Maybe it is healthy to see Michael Penix. You know how they do in preseason when the quarterbacks all do the same drop back and Kirk's pass will go 40 yards and Michael Penix's will go 65. I mean, maybe we need that. And well, I forgot Taylor Heineke. Taylor Heineke's will go 20. So maybe we need that kind of uncomfortable energy in the dome to get that stirred up. Let me get a couple of comments right here. Antara says Atlanta Falcons in the Atlanta sports hierarchy is poised to have the most excitement of all the Atlanta sports teams. He said the Hawks, blah, Atlanta, no, and the Braves with their postseason hijinks. Now, only reason I can't go all the way with the Braves because the Braves at least brought a chip in the last 5 years. I can't dog my. You get a chip in this town, you get at least a 5-year. You get to me, you're gonna get a 5-year. What am I saying? 5-year of leave
window.
at least. I can't say anything. Yeah. Chill Rodney is in the house. What's going on, brother? He said, "What's up, Unc and Big Low?" He said, "I'm about to pull a K-Dot and make the Saints and ESPN this." I look at.
Don't do it like that, Bo.
I see. Henry says, I was hoping to crack Jameis Winston twice this year, but he didn't want any smoke and went to Cleveland. No, Henry, let me correct you. Dennis Allen didn't want that nonsense in his locker room. I don't like the Saints at all. And I'm pretty sure there were Saints on that team that was like, hey, man, you kind of set us up for next year. Because even though it's a new coach in Raheem, don't think Raheem not going to listen to, hey, coach, y'all see we up by New Orleans by 20 points and we in this victory formation. Let's get Michael Penix a easy touchdown throw while we in the victory formation. Just for the nonsensical stuff that Jameis Winston did, which to me, I'm glad Dennis Allen came out against him like that. And granted, yeah, for all those New Orleans folks, Jameis Winston was playing his last game for New Orleans no matter what. He was a free agent anyway.
Yeah.
So he had nothing to lose. The people who are going to pay for that are the New Orleans Saints, who are still left behind against the Atlanta Falcons, who remember that this year. That's what you're going to see.
I'm not mad at it. I feel like it helped. I feel like it helped the rivalry, because the rivalry was getting kind of stale. Like, let's be honest, it was getting kind of stale.
Yeah, maybe so.
It's like, as far as Dennis Allen, I feel like it was weak on Dennis Allen's part, because even though he didn't tell them to do that, it's like, don't apologize. Like, you lost control of your player. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
So it's like, it happened on your watch. It's like, ain't no need to apologize, and whatever happened. This is football. So it's like, the whole apologizing thing. And maybe I feel like this because Arthur Smith threw the temper tantrum, and I never really cared about Mr. Look What I Can Do, but it's a simple fact that it's like you just didn't have control of your player. I mean, that's one of the the first rules that you learn as a coach. You control this situation. So,
absolutely.
That whole, it's. I'm not mad at it. I feel like it's kind of going to spice things up a little bit.
Good for the franchise. I mean, both franchises, because it's not like New Orleans has been killing it either. Tampa Bay has been having the bragging rights for the last couple of years on here. Got another super chat in here. I think that's Coach's Corner. Let's see what we got on the thing. I know it almost did that we will always read. We just super chat. Man, boy, that's some smooth singing right there. The Coach's Corner has, I don't know, I think because the media has pushed the narrative so much that it was a bad pick that people won't be excited for Michael Penix Jr. But that's where I think we go in the bunker though, Dre. As fans, I think we go in the bunker and we say, forget the media. Forget everybody else. We were in this situation last year, Dre. Remember? Nobody was thinking about Bijan Robinson last year, including me.
Exactly.
Nobody. And by the time this was all over with, Bijan was our favorite son. Bijan was the most exciting player on the team. So while I don't think look, I hope Penix doesn't play this year because that means Kirk Cousins is either sucking or he's hurt. So I hope he doesn't. I hope he doesn't play and sit back and learn. But at the same time, no, I look, if Raheem can work magic with the young defensive players they have, and he can make them pretty credible, which if Ryan Nielsen can do it, I guess Jimmy Lake can too. If he can do that, then I think it's a good pick. And not even a good pick for 24, but a good pick for 25. And don't forget, we might end up paying the price for that tampering last year. So that's something else to think about too. Let me jump a couple of comments in here. But brother Chuck is in the house. What's going on, brother? So what's up, Steve? Late to the show from band rehearsal. What is the actual topic? That dude, we've been all over the place. We talking anything Falcons on here. So quite honestly, you're kind of just jumping in the end here. So we're just going anywhere, Chuck. Just get in where you fit in, brother. Jay Diaz says he ain't gonna play preseason coming off a Achilles injury. Well, I mean, let's put it this way, Jay. He's gonna be in training camp. I can see him maybe playing in the scrimmages. It seems like they put a lot of emphasis on these scrimmages a lot more because I know the quarterbacks don't get hit a lot in the scrimmages either. So maybe he might play in there, Jay, but I don't think he's gonna play either, for the record. But I'm not sure if that's solely because he's coming off an Achilles injury or they just want to make sure he's as healthy, as close to 100 as he's going to be. I don't think he's going to even be 90%, quite honestly. I
think he's going to play.
You think he's going to play a little bit? Okay.
I think he's going to play in the preseason.
So you think,
based off of what I've seen off of quarterback one and how I think he's going to try to make sure that he gets all the time and down and everything. But
right,
in a real life situation. But I mean, look, I'm gonna go ahead and tell y'all as soon because I heard somebody say earlier that feels like Falcons fans aren't as excited about a Michael Penix pick as we should be, or as they thought that we would be. That all it's gonna take is for Michael Penix to throw that corner route to Kyle Pitts for 30 yards for a touchdown during that preseason game.
Bruh.
Everybody's getting naked.
Let him hit Mooney down the field for a 40-yard goal. Something like that. Let him Ooh. It's gonna be
I'm telling y'all, it's like I think it's still surreal to everybody, but once they actually see it, everybody's gonna be like, oh. And that's what I'm saying. Like Kirk Cousins, he's gonna have to play. He's gonna have to.
And look, a lot of people don't want to hear it, but it's gonna be some excitement when you start talking about the possibility of Michael Penix being on the field. Got another super chat. Let me throw this one in here. It's your uncle. Sit down. It's your uncle. Sit down. It's your uncle. Sit down. It's your uncle. Yeah. It's your uncle. Sit down. Y'all know nothing about that, Lo. You don't want to get that. I was just going to say talking about the casual fan who listens. Y'all just see Lo just getting jealous. You hear all those super chats coming on. Like, Uncle Steve. Like when this is over, you're like, Uncle Steve, could you please tell me how to get my vocals like that?
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. That was the kind of call me off guard. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you hear about rapping skills too. I got support. I might throw it on here. Y'all tell if y'all. I'm a, y'all like, I'm gonna give a bonus. If y'all want to hear my new Drake super chat, put a one in the chat so we can.
Lord. Oh Lord.
Oh man. Antare says this draft and Cousins adding has put injection of interest in the Atlanta sports landscape. This is true. Our brother Brian Peoples is in the house. What's going on, Brian? Good to see you. Thank you for joining us here on Uncle C's Lounge with our guest star in here, Big Low Country Sports, who is still trying to make it over the river and through the woods and get himself going. Jay says, way I look at it, if Penix plays, that means he's actually really good. But if we winning, that means Kirk Cousins must be good too. Jay, what a wonderful problem to have.
Yes.
What a wonderful problem. Jay, think about last year when we had to make a decision to keep with Desmond Ridder, hoping that his talent level would reach his confidence, and it never did. God bless him, because he wasn't the one that was named the starting quarterback. Arthur Smith named him. But think about this. Penix or Cousins sounds a lot better than Ridder or Heineke, in my opinion.
I love Desmond.
So I would take that all day. If I Demetrius says, I mean, look, hey, bro, hey, you got one more time. You got one more time to dog out Felipe Franks on this stream.
I ain't talking about.
We got some. Our buddy Felipe is muddy. Don't you ever forget.
Okay.
See, I'm having too much fun. See, you see I'm working this thing. Heineke's only throwing 20 yards in training camp is wild. Let the man live. Come on, Demetrius. You already know, man. Oh boy.
The crazy thing is, they look better than Ridder's. That's
the crazy. That's the silly thing. That Demetrius, you just don't know, man. You just don't know. Demetrius said Jameis Cornball Winston. Absolutely. He said Antonio says, to be fair to Jameis, it seems no one in that locker room respect Dennis Allen. Well, yes. Look, I think if it was a case that a lot of people didn't respect him, I don't expect every player to love their coach. But to go out there and literally say, the coach told me to kneel and end the game, but I'm going to get one of our players a touchdown because we voted on it. First of all, Jameis probably never voted before. Second of all, I don't think he has the intelligence level to make a decision like that. I think Jameis told old boy, and he said, because if you think about it, even the New Orleans players didn't get into blocking on the play, and the most excited people on the field were Jameis Winston and Jamal Williams. Those were the two excited. Yep. Jameis turned around and he started jumping up and down. Even the Falcons didn't even bow up and get mad because they were like, dude, you're just corny. Like my man Demetrius said, that's just corny. That's not even worth getting mad at, because that was just corny at the end of the day. That was a corny action that he did on that. Mr. CDX for Life said, was sitting next to Bossy Mom family at the Aints game when dude did that. She was on the one. So it's beef no matter when we play it up. Hashtag away games fun when we win. Absolutely. I hear you. Chuck says any reason to draft the Saints is a good reason. New goal, win by 21 each time we play them. I can live with that. Kelvin says, I want Kurt to at least play a few drives in the preseason, but really want to see Penix with the ones, even though the play calling might be vanilla. Henry said there better be a quarterback competition among Penix, Heineke, and Woodside. Woodside signed with somebody else. Somebody check it for me in the chat. But he just signed with somebody. Cincinnati, it might have been. Yeah, I think it was Cincinnati.
I thought it was Bankhead Bouncers.
Okay. Oh, you know what? It might have been.
I thought you talking Bankhead Bouncers.
Oh, you're wrong for that. You're wrong. I think it'll be good if he plays, but to be honest, but I think the team's gonna take a cautious approach. I wouldn't mind that. All right, so we got people putting ones in the chat. L Rail in here, Dixon Wade, Jamal, Skate Man, sound effects. Christy is in here. Hey, Christy said, wait. Chris, what's that? He said, Christy said, wait.
You know what you need to do? They put the ones in the chat.
Oh, I'm okay. I'm going in here. Christy says she waiting on new music release via the Uncle Steve's Lounge versus Big Low Country Sports. I let people in on that to say we probably have a surprise for y'all. So we'll get that together here in the next few weeks and get something together. Henry says Uncle Steve loves Felipe Franks. That's right. That's my guy. And I need to change that name on there. My boy Bobby D is in the house. What's going on? He said, there's my brother. Glad to see you, man. I'm back on my carriage. Hopefully for good, brother. I am so happy to see you in the house as well, brother. All blessings to you and your family. Thank you for joining us in here. Okay, so I'm gonna do my Drake versus Kendrick. So this is my Kendrick, and y'all, if y'all taking this seriously, y'all missing the point. So this is my Kendrick. It's your uncle. Sit down. 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 It's your uncle. Sit down.
All right.
All right. So now let's go to my Drake.
Uncle Steve. Do you love me? Are you riding? Do you like my super chat? We're talking football, talking all ball at the town hall. Do you know your Uncle Steve? Do you love me? Are you riding?
I'm sorry. I was bored. I think I added this one too. Listen.
Tell you how I feel about your super chat. How I feel about it. Hey,
Yeah.
Okay.
I can tell you how I feel about your super chat. How I feel about you. Oh.
Isn't it, boy? Boy, you hit them notes, boy. You hit them notes.
Hey, look, I'm gonna tell you something now. I'm gonna tell you something. Play that song around Auntie Kira, she gonna say, hey, you better chill out.
Now see,
singing like that around.
Now see, here's the problem. She's a John Legend person, so I had to make this one for her. And so
we're just ordinary QBs. It's a shout out to.
I remember
know which way to throw.
Shout out to Aunt Kira.
Cause we're just ordinary QBs.
For taking John Legend.
It's time for us to
destroying his legacy.
I love the way it ends.
Cause we can't throw.
Doesn't that get you in the mood? If I did have a lighter, I have it on right now.
I'm telling you.
Listen to that, man.
Great.
Yeah, that's a. So y'all know nothing about that, man. That
I don't think we
Bob D says, don't know if you guys touched on this, but because Kurt nor Michael has any field experience for this organization. Once preseason begins, who's getting picked for the first start? Well, you know what, Bobby? I honestly think if I had money to put on it, I think Michael Penix is probably going to start the first game for the mere fact that I don't think they're going to throw. I don't think they're going to throw Kirk Cousins out there on that very first game. To Lowe's point, I can see him maybe wanting to get acclimated, maybe in that third preseason game, possibly. But I don't see him taking any snaps in that first game. I think it'll be the Heineke Penix show, and I think the crowd is they're going to want to see Penix. So I think that's what you have on there when you got that. J. Diaz says, nah, Uncle Steve's super chats are undefeated. LOL. Thank you, sir. We appreciate that. That's it. And this is, look, I'm trying to post these so Lo can see them with his thing. It said, Demetrius says, somebody sign Uncle Steve. He's going to make the streets go crazy with that. Hell's Rail says, give Uncle a 360. He said, give him a 360 deal. And last but not least, my buddy Chuck says, that's a long way from always is forever. See, Chuck can go back. If we had video back then, Chuck will let you know. At the talent show with Joy Hunter, I think it's over. See, I'm going to tell you something. See, Chuck remember. Always and forever. And more important, Fairy Tale Lover. See, y'all don't know. Shout out to Chuck in the house.
Did that heat wave up?
Oh, bro, we did it all, man. Man, don't let, man. No, I'm trying to tell you, man. Don't sleep.
Hey, look, everybody that's watching right now. Everybody's watching right now. If you haven't subscribed yet, I'm telling y'all need to hit that subscribe button because this is the only place you're gonna find this out here, folks. If you haven't subscribed to Uncle Steve's Lounge, you need to hit that subscribe because you don't know what you're gonna get. You don't know what you're gonna get. It's a box of chocolates, folks. It's literally a box of chocolates.
Oh man! and look, and while we doing that, shout out because I stayed on here way too long. I probably helped Lo stay awake while they were on their trip going back home. But but shout out to my brother for joining me here on this journey today on Saturday to Sunday chill. Y'all know I usually stay in here about an hour and a half, but I've gone way past Lowe's bedtime, so he probably getting ready to go to sleep. So I wanna give a big shout out to Big Low Country Sports. Y'all already know where he is, but if you don't, go check him out on his YouTube channel, Big Low Country Sports. Brother, I'm gonna let everybody else. I'm gonna let you tell everybody where to join you and other things you do on the other media as well. Hold on one time. Wait, Christy says that Al B. Sure rendition was real light skinned. Did you see what I'm saying? She know. Hey, Christy, I got some Bobby DeBarge on tap. I call your name, girl. It's coming. Uh-oh. It's coming. It's coming. Lord, tell her where you at, man. Tell her where you at.
Oh, Lord have mercy. Man, look, everybody out there that don't know me, my name is Big Low Country. I'm just an old country boy, former football coach that loves to sit around and talk about sports. I'm also the lead singer of Southern Still. Southern Still is a group that just recently got put together this past year. And, Uncle Steve, he's trying to, do his own solo thing. And we definitely, he's trying to do his own solo thing. We definitely support him. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's like, everybody.
That is incorrect. That is incorrect. Oh man!
Well, thank you so much for having me on, chilling out with you, man. I definitely enjoy it.
Brother, blessings to you and Coach, man. And look, y'all stay safe on the road and hold it down. Again, I appreciate you coming in. We're gonna wrap things up here in a little bit. Thank you, my brother. Appreciate you, man. Thank you, Big Low Country, for coming in. Again, just awesome times. Again, I know everyone, I'm used to coming in here. I'm used to reading everybody's chat, doing everything. Again, that when I'm with my brother and when you're having a good time doing this thing, and I do this for the love of the game and talking Falcons and talking pop culture and just having a good time. I hope you are entertained. If you are entertained, as Big Low said, please make sure you like the video and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Tell your friends. This is the off season, so it's kind of difficult sometimes because right now we're almost at a dead season. Probably the next thing after the schedule comes out is going to be another 3 to 4 weeks where we're going to be talking about the same topics over and over and over and over and over and over again. So just make sure y'all just check me out. Bobby asked the question. He said, what days and what times are you streaming live? I have 3 days that I normally advertise. That'll be Friday brunch, which I usually do between 1 and 2 o'clock. I might have to change that coming up. We may have some changes in my work schedule. That'll be the Friday brunch. The Sunday chill, which is happened to be a lot of you have enjoyed what we do on the Sunday chill, which is just relax, talk Falcons, talk sports, relax, and just chill, PG content. We're not trying to corrupt your minds here, but have fun. Something that you can listen to, your family can listen to. Won't even mind if your kids stop by, and you don't have to worry about covering their ears every couple of minutes when we're talking. And then we have the Monday Minutia, which we do on Mondays, usually around 7 o'clock. Now, that's kind of been in flux a little bit lately. I'll let you know. I usually put up a notification for the show early in the day if I'm able to come in on Mondays. But those are my 3 days. During the football season, obviously, we're on a lot more. But for right now, definitely for Friday brunch at 1 o'clock and the Sunday chill at 6. That's what we're sticking to as far as those schedules are concerned. Again, appreciate everyone in the chat. Thank you all for joining us. If you like what you saw, please subscribe, like the channel, share it out. We'll hopefully see you tomorrow on the Monday Minutia. Everyone have a blessed Sunday evening. Take care of yourself. Appreciate you. Have a good one, y'all.